Hey everybody, it's Ricky from All Sorts of Words, and I know the YouTube numbers. I seen them, I dig through them every day, so I know for a fact that most of you, the majority of you, are going to dip out of this after about 30 seconds. So I implore you, listen to the announcement first, and then stick around for the end because we need to do some housekeeping, and it's some pretty heavy stuff. In an unheard of turn of events, we had an actual slaughter during our last match. One contestant showed up so hard, I don't think there's enough of his competitor to even bury. We're going to have one of those token funerals where it's like a coffin full of letters from people who loved him. Without further ado, let's hear from our incredible winner, Bleak from Bleecker Street Comics. Take it away.
There it is, folks. A champion, as always. From one show to the next. The champion of all champions in comic books. Next time, you better bring the heat.
Now, I gotta say, if you're gonna be a person who loses in one of these matches, you might as well be the nicest person in the world. Hayden over at Next Gen Collector is just a little peach. A little peachy peach. His most recent video about going out and doing pickups was actually hysterical. I think he's got a lot of talent when it comes to constructing funny scenes and stuff. And I, for one, am so excited to work with him more in the future. But let's hear him in character as the constructor, wrapping up his first match on C4.
Well, that was a load of horse shit. Seems my foundation was rocky from the start, but I'll be back with a fresh set of comics and tools to take on my next opponent. Just you wait.
We good? You still sticking around? All right, let's do this. Naked. Not really naked. I'm wearing pants underneath the camera. Well, you hope I am. That's why I try to use my hands more in the camera so that you know I'm not inappropriately touching myself. Oh no. Everything I'm about to say right now applies to just about every adult in the United States. So I understand that I'm not portraying myself as a special snowflake. I just wanted to loop you guys in on something that's been happening lately. Put a finger down if any of this is true for you as well. I have a full-time job in an administrative role at a college. I have a part-time job as a professor at the same college. I have a part-time job trying to get my writing career off the ground. I also have a pretty rare disease in my family, in my own household. It's not me. I don't want you to think that I'm sick or anything, but that's something that also exists in my life that takes up space. I have friends and family that need my time and attention from time to time. Not every day, but they do need me. And then with all of that, I've also decided to do a goddamn YouTube channel. This is a lot, but I'm one of those crazy depressive people where if I'm not driving myself crazy, I get depressive. So instead of being the type of person who locks themselves in a room or can't leave their bed, as long as I'm propelling myself forward with goals and motivation, I don't go crazy. I only go crazy when I stop moving, when I stop trying to achieve some sort of arbitrary nonsense that I'm shooting for. But recently, I overstepped. I hit a point where I didn't have time, I didn't have energy, and literally every single day something was planned, and it was making everything else that I wasn't addressing in the moment suffer. Gross. So for example, if I sat down to write at one point in the day, all of a sudden I could immediately hear the clock ticking on how little time I had left to do my YouTube stuff. If I was doing my YouTube stuff, I could literally hear the clock ticking for all of the family obligations that I was setting aside. It got to a point where the things that motivate me, the actual reasons why I'm alive on this planet, the things I find fulfilling, felt a little bit like a curse. They felt a little bit like, do I really enjoy this? Am I having fun? And that was a new feeling for me. Like, I've never felt negative about my writing. I don't necessarily always like all of my writing, but I've never felt negative about, like, oh God, I got to do this shit because then I can't do this shit over here. That was a new experience, and I hated that because it also affected the way I was looking at some of my relationships. This is real, and I'm going to be honest. I heard my wife puttering around in the kitchen a minute ago, and I'm kind of praying that she's not in there listening because my voice carries. But she works on the other side of the house, so I'm hoping that she's not hearing this right now, because this is a big deal. I was doing something on my phone for YouTube, and I was editing, putting something together, and she walked in the room, and she was just being nice. She was just checking in on me, like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you?" And this is literally the look I gave. That, like, shitty, I'm doing something right now that is so far above what your expectation of me in this moment. And I felt shitty. I felt trashy. And she always watches my videos. She puts them on in the background and she listens to them. So I wonder if she'll recall that moment, or maybe it was just something that she chased out of her mind. But I hate that. I hated that feeling. I had to ask myself, what's been different lately? Why have I been feeling this way? Why did I react that way? And I was going down the list of everything that I have. Okay, full-time job. Do I hate it? No, I love it. Part-time job. Do I hate it? No, I love it. My writing, love it. And everything was coming back as love it. And at the very bottom of the list, one of my commitments that I was doing, it wasn't even YouTube that was causing me a problem. It was having committed to a weekly show like C4. I'm in this really strange position right now where there are people who subscribe to my channel specifically because of the wrestling content. And I want to make this crystal clear. I'm not giving up on C4. I will continue to host and have fun with these C4 events. But seeing the comments of people like, this show makes my Monday and stuff like that it hurts me to think that, like, I'm letting anyone down. But this is the only thing that is difficult about YouTube. I have a lot of emotions about YouTube, and I always talk about them on here. This is more a diary than anything else half the time. But it is really difficult to try to get two adults with different schedules on the same day that works for them and that it also works for me too. I'm reminded of this joke that if you're a fan of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, you've heard this joke before, I guarantee it. So there's a guy and he's wandering through the desert and he finds a magic lamp and he rubs it and a genie pops out. Genie says, "I'm going to grant you any wish that you want." The genie says, "There are 2 wishes I cannot grant. 1, I can't bring anyone back from the dead. 2, I can't make anyone love you. What is your wish?" And the guy says, "I want a reliable D&D group that meets every week." The genie takes a second and says, "There are 3 wishes I can't grant." Everybody knows this. Like, you, dear viewer, you've got friends in your life that you would love to just sit in the same room with and eat a pizza. You would love to do that. But this guy's got, bowling on Tuesdays. This guy's got bowling on Wednesdays. Why aren't they in the same league? I don't know. This guy's going through a nasty divorce. This guy has kids and, that's his excuse for everything. We hate that guy. It's difficult. And I love to see the other creators have an excuse to kind of like come out of their shell and be a little more weird. It's really fun. There have been some unique personalities that have come out in C4 that they would never put in their own channel. But it is an actual pain in the balls to try to get everybody on the same page. And it's I don't want to say it's killing me, but it's killing me. Every week to try to hunt down 2 new people and be like, "Great, when can you do it? Tuesday?" And I almost sound like a kind of like a drug fiend when I'm reaching out to people, being like, "Hey, you wanted to get together back again real soon, right? Yeah, let's do this." And so I had that conversation with myself, and I realized that if I just cut this one expectation, just this one little snip, my life becomes a lot easier. I can do 2 videos a week. It's not a big deal. I can hang out with my friends and keep my commitments to my family and be there for doctor's appointments and have my job, my part-time job and my part-time job, and everything works out fine. It's just this one thing that's really causing a hiccup in my life. And so I wanted to just address this with everybody and let everybody know that like the weekly things, they're not going to be happening anymore. I am going to be doing everything I can to continue bringing C4 content. I love doing it. It's really fun. And I want to continue doing it in the way that I've been doing it. But like, even with a week off and hounding other people to come be wrestlers, like it's non-committal or can't commit or, oh, I can only do it on Thursdays. And I swear, I'm never going to be that comic book collector, video game nerd, or whatever who says, "Sorry, honey, I can't have dinner with you this Thursday because I have to yell about comic books online with some nerds." I'm never going to do that to my life. This whole YouTube shit can just melt away like tears in the rain, and it doesn't matter because my relationships are number one. They're the people that are going to be with me when all this falls apart, and you're all just going to wonder where I went. So that's it. I just wanted to make it clear. C4 is not over. You know what? Let me get the jacket. C4 is not over. This isn't something that I'm hanging up on. This isn't like, hey guys, you're never going to see it again. In fact, I am working on a C4 thing coming up. I'm working on like a big show to do 1 month where I have like cash prizes for contestants. Like I want to do more fun stuff with it, but the rigid schedule is it's causing a lot of wrinkles in my life, and I hope you all understand. So if you're a longtime watcher, if you're a longtime fan of C4, please let me know in the comments that you're never going to speak to me again, or that you hate this idea, or that, you know, maybe you feel a little mercy on me and maybe I shouldn't go jump off a bridge. But regardless, congratulations to Bleak. Thank you for everybody that's participated up until this point. It's not going away. It's just not going to be weekly like I thought it could be. Love you, bye.